We live in a disposable world. Everything is designed to break, even motorcycle engines. But we found you the Holy Grail. Today, we are revealing the 20 motorcycle engines that are literally unkillable. These are the machines that refuse to die long after you are gone. We are exposing the engineering secrets and maintenance hacks that make these power plants bulletproof. If you want a machine that mocks high mileage and ensures you never walk home again, this is your list. Let's count them down. Number 20. Moto Guzzi Smallblock V-Twin. We start our list with a piece of Italian agricultural history that somehow became a hipster icon. The Moto Guzzi Smallblock Transverse V-Twin is not just an engine. It is an air compressor that makes horsepower. This is an air-cooled 90-degree V-Twin with push rods and 2 valves per cylinder. It is longitudinally mounted, meaning the cylinders stick out into the breeze like wings. This design is genius because both cylinders get equal airflow cooling, unlike a Harley where the rear cylinder roasts behind the front one. You find this engine in the Moto Guzzi V7 and the V85 TT. The V7 is a retro roadster perfect for city riding, while the TT is an adventure bike with all-day comfort. Maintenance is laughably simple because the valve heads are sticking right out in the open. You can adjust the valves with a screwdriver and a wrench in 20 minutes without even taking the tank off. It holds its oil well, and the shaft drive eliminates chain maintenance entirely. In the 2026 market, a new V7 costs around $9,000, but used examples are a steal between $4,500 and $6,000. If you've been here a while, you already know what Iron Pulse is about. We drop the essentials: old school, rider-made style; the cap, for long miles and windy days; the T, for the garage, the ride, and everywhere in between; the mug, for early starts and late nights planning the next run. No hype, just the mark. 20% off right now. Link in the description down below. The Guzzi is simple Italian charm, but if you want something that has conquered the Himalayas more times than any other vehicle on Earth, you need to look at our next contender from India. Number 19. Royal Enfield J-Series 350. For decades, Royal Enfield engines were charming, which was code for vibrated parts off at highway speeds. But the new J-Series 350 engine changed everything. It is modern, refined, and surprisingly overbuilt. It features a 349 cubic centimeter air-oil-cooled single cylinder with a counterbalancer shaft that smooths out the thump. It is not high performance, 20 horsepower is modest, but because it is in a low state of tune, the internal stresses are non-existent. It is built to run on bad fuel in the hottest climates on Earth without complaining. This engine powers the Meteor 350, the Classic 350, and the Hunter 350. The Meteor is a mini cruiser with forward pegs, the Classic is a time machine with a sprung seat, and the Hunter is a nimble city roadster. Maintenance is built for the third world. Valve clearance checks are screw and lock nut, easily done at home, and the oil filter is accessible. A new one costs just $4,200, while used models are practically free at $2,800. The Enfield is a thumper that can climb a mountain slowly, but if you need to cross a continent at 100 miles per hour without spilling your coffee, you need something with 4 cylinders and a turbine like whine, and that's coming up next. Number 18. Yamaha FJR1300 Inline 4. The Yamaha 1298 cubic centimeter Inline 4 is a turbine. It is a massive, liquid-cooled, 16-valve powerhouse making around 140 horsepower, and it uses a shaft drive to put that power to the ground. The reliability secret here is massive torque. It makes so much torque down low that you never have to redline it. Most FJR engines spend their entire lives spinning at 3,000 RPM, which is barely waking up for a motor this size. We have seen these with 200,000 miles still running factory compression. It is found exclusively in the Yamaha FJR1300, a sport touring missile. The ergonomics are gentleman sport, slightly lean forward but with massive wind protection and a plush seat that lets you drain the 6-gallon tank in one sitting. It is heavy at over 600 pounds, but that weight makes it stable in crosswinds. While the fairings make it a chore to access the engine, the valve intervals are 26,000 miles, and they rarely need adjustment. You can pick up excellent used examples for $5,000 to $9,000. The Yamaha is a spaceship designed for the Autobahn. Our next engine is a tractor designed for the daily grind. It is the automotive equivalent of a Toyota Camry, not exciting, but absolutely everywhere. Number 17, Kawasaki 650, parallel twin. This engine is the definition of utility. It is not exotic and it is not beautiful, but it is unkillable. It is a 649 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin tuned for mid-range punch. Kawasaki has refined this engine for almost 20 years. It has a 180-degree crank, giving it a distinctive angry sewing machine sound, and the cooling system is incredibly efficient, meaning it never overheats, even in gridlock traffic. You can find this lump in almost everything Kawasaki makes: the Ninja 650, the Naked Z 650, the Adventure Touring Versys 650, and the Vulcan S Cruiser. The Versys is the standout here with tall suspension and upright seating, perfect for tall riders. Parts are available at every dealership in the world, and valve checks are every 15,000 miles. It is a very easy engine to work on because everything is exposed. You can find used models all day long for $3,500 to $6,000. Kawasaki mastered the street, but our next engine dominates the dirt. It is a single-cylinder legend that has a cult following, and unlike modern dirt bikes, it carries its oil in the frame to keep things cool when the going gets slow. Number 16, Suzuki DR650, the Dizzy. If the apocalypse happened tomorrow, the only things left would be cockroaches and Suzuki DR650s. This engine has remained virtually unchanged since the year 2000. It is a 398 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled single that still uses a carburetor. Yes, even in 2026. Why? Because carbs don't need fuel pumps or computers to run. If the battery dies deep in the woods, you can bump start it and ride home. It uses a dry sump oil system, which keeps the engine compact and ensures lubrication even when you are doing a wheelie for 2 miles. You find this in the DRZ400S Dual Sport and the Super Moto SM model. The ergonomics are pure dirt bike, a flat, hard plank of a seat and wide bars. It is tall, with a 36-inch seat height, so short riders beware. Maintenance requires frequent oil changes, every 2,000 miles if you ride hard, but since it holds less than 2 quarts, it costs $5. The valves are shim under bucket and are known to stay in spec for ages. New ones are $7,100, but you can find battle-hardened used ones for $4,000. We are digging into the engines that defy death. If you want to know which bikes will save you thousands in repair bills and keep you on the road while others are in the shop, smash that like button and subscribe. We are building the ultimate garage, one engine at a time. The DRZ uses liquid cooling, which is just one more thing to leak. Our next engine runs on Hayden pig iron. It is arguably the most famous V-twin in American history, and it saved a legendary company from bankruptcy. Number 15, Harley-Davidson Evolution Sportster. The Evo Sportster engine, produced from 1986 until 2022, is unparalleled in the cruiser world. It is a heavy, shaking, noisy lump of iron and aluminum that is built like a bank vault. It is an air-cooled 45-degree V-twin with push rods and hydraulic lifters. Hydraulic lifters are the magic words here. It means 0 valve adjustments, ever. The engine uses a gear-driven primary and separate transmission fluid and engine oil. The transmission is a trap door design, meaning you can pull the gearbox out without splitting the engine cases. Genius engineering. This engine powers the Sportster 883 and 1200. The ergonomics are classic cruiser, low seat, knees in the breeze, and a vibration at idle that shakes your fillings but smooths out beautifully on the highway. Maintenance involves changing the engine oil, changing the primary fluid, and tensioning the primary chain. That is it. No valves to check, no radiator to flush, no chain to lube because it uses a belt. It is the lowest maintenance motorcycle engine on this list. While discontinued, used ones are everywhere for $3,500 to $7,000. Harley relies on old tech to be reliable. Our next engine uses modern tech to create a retro feel. It looks like an old British twin, but hidden inside is a liquid cooling system and electronics that make it bulletproof. Number 14. Triumph High Torque Twin. Triumph's modern classic line uses liquid-cooled parallel twins that look air-cooled. They hid the radiator between the frame rails and kept the cooling fins for style. But underneath, it is a reliability monster. Whether it is the 900cc or the 1200cc high torque variant, these engines use a single overhead cam and a 270-degree firing order. They are overbuilt, with service intervals that are a massive 10,000 miles. These engines power the Bonneville T100 and T120, the Street Twin, the Scrambler, and the Thruxton. These are arguably the best-looking bikes on the market. The ergonomics are standard, upright, neutral, and comfortable for all sizes. Ownership is incredibly cheap for a European bike. 10,000-mile oil changes means you are barely in the shop. The fit and finish are so high that bolts rarely rust or seize, even in damp climates. New prices range from $10,000 to $14,000, but the used market is rich with options, starting at $5,500. Triumph makes you look like a gentleman. Our next engine makes you look like a hooligan. It is the engine that saved Yamaha from mediocrity, and it is arguably the most fun, reliable engine ever made. Number 13, Yamaha CP2, the cross-plane concept 2. This engine powers half of the stunt bikes on YouTube. Why? Because you can bounce it off the rev limiter all day, drop it, pick it up, and do it again. It is a 689 cubic centimeter parallel twin with a 270-degree crank offset. This gives it the torque delivery and sound of a V-twin. It uses linerless cylinder bores coated with a ceramic composite to reduce friction and heat. It is compact, light, and punchy. You will find this gem in the legendary MT-07, the adventure-ready Tenere 700, the Retro X SR 700, and the Sporty R7. The Tenere is the standout reliability test. People ride these around the world through sand and mud, and the engine never complains. Valve checks are at 26,000 miles, which is huge. Most owners sell the bike before they ever need to open the engine. Used prices hover between $5,000 and $8,000, and they are worth every penny. The CP2 is a modern marvel of efficiency. Our next engine is a prehistoric relic. It has one huge cylinder, vibrates like a paint mixer, and has a cult following that calls itself the Milk Crate Mafia. Number 12. Kawasaki KLR650. If you Google cockroach motorcycle, the KLR comes up. This engine has been in production since 1977. It is ugly, heavy, and slow, and it is glorious. It is a 652 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled single using a dual overhead cam design, which is surprisingly sophisticated for a tractor. It is understressed, making only about 40 horsepower from a massive piston. The Generation 3, introduced in 2022, finally added fuel injection, solving the only real complaints about carb icing and elevation changes. The only bike it powers is the Kawasaki KLR650. It is a heavy adventure bike with upright and spacious ergonomics and a massive seat that is surprisingly comfortable for long hauls. You cannot talk about KLRs without mentioning the doohickey, the balancer chain, tensioner lever. On older bikes, it was prone to failure, but on Gen 3, it is stronger. Aside from that, just keep oil in it. It will burn oil at highway speeds. That is a feature, not a bug. Just top it off and keep riding. New ones are $7 grand, used ones are $3. The KLR is a single-cylinder tractor. Our next engine is a Bavarian Boxer that sticks out the sides of the bike, hits your shins, and runs for 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. Number 11, BMW Oilhead and Hexhead Boxer. Specifically, we are talking about the 1100, 1150, and early 1200 Oilhead and Hexhead engines. These are the engines that defined adventure touring before it was cool. It is a flat twin boxer engine where the cylinders stick out sideways, getting perfect air cooling. These generations used oil cooling for the heads, hence Oilhead. They separate the gearbox from the engine like a car and use a dry clutch. The torque is massive and low down, capable of pulling a fully loaded bike up a vertical wall. These engines are found in the R1100 and R1150 GS, R, and RT models. The GS is the legend, tall, commanding view, and surprisingly agile. Maintenance is a mixed bag. The valve adjustments are a dream. They are screw and lock nut, and the heads are sticking right out there, so you can do it in a parking lot in 20 minutes. The catch is the clutch. Replacing it requires splitting the bike in half. But if you don't abuse it, the clutch lasts 100,000 miles. You can find these high-mileage heroes used for $4,000 to $8,000. The BMW is quirky German engineering. Our next engine is Honda engineering perfection. It uses gears instead of chains to drive the cams, producing a sound that is pure mechanical music. Number 10. Honda V4 with gear-driven cams. Specifically, the V4 engines found in the VFR 750 and early VFR 800. Honda built these to prove they were the best engine builders in the world. It is a 90-degree V4, but the magic is in the gear-driven cams. Instead of a rubber belt or a metal chain that stretches over time, these engines use a cascade of gears to spin the camshafts. Gears do not stretch, gears do not break. They just whine with a beautiful supercharger-like sound. It is widely considered one of the most reliable internal combustion engines ever made. These power the Honda VFR 750 and the 5th generation VFR 800. These are sport touring bikes that lean forward, but not as aggressively as a race bike. They are heavy, stable, and smooth. Maintenance is complex because it is a V4 tucked inside a frame, making spark plug access a nightmare. But because of the gear drive, the valve clearances almost never move. You check them every 16,000 miles, and usually you just close the cover and smile. These are becoming collector items, selling for $3,500 to $6,000. The V4 is sophisticated and elegant. Our next engine is brute force personified. It was designed to go 200 miles per hour, but most people use it to commute, which means it lasts forever. Number 9. Suzuki Hayabusa 1340. The Hayabusa engine is not just a motorcycle engine. It is a legend used in race cars, boats, and sandrails. It is overbuilt to an insane degree. It is a 1,340 cubic centimeter inline-4, making nearly 200 horsepower. But here's the secret to its lifespan. It makes that power effortlessly. At 70 miles per hour on the highway, the engine is barely spinning. The pistons, rods, and crank are strong enough to handle turbocharged power of 500 horses. In stock form, it is practically asleep. It powers the Suzuki GSX-1300R Hayabusa. The bike is long, low, and aerodynamic. The ergonomics are surprisingly comfortable for a sport bike, designed for high-speed touring rather than track days. The only maintenance-heavy hitter is tires. It eats rears for breakfast. The engine itself is bulletproof. We have seen Hayabusas with 150,000 miles that still run 10-second quarter miles. A new one is $19,000, but a solid Gen 2 used model can be found for $8,000. We are breaking into the single digits. These are the engines that you will likely leave to your grandchildren in your will. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the highest mileage bike you have ever owned? Let's see who holds the record. The Hayabusa is massive and intimidating. Our next engine is modest and everywhere. It is the gold standard of modern commuting, powering half the delivery bikes in Europe and the training fleets in America. Number 8. Honda 471 Parallel Twin. If you learn to ride in 2026, you will probably ride this engine. It is the heart of Honda's 500 series. It is sterile, it is quiet, and it is immortal. It is a 407 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin. It is square, meaning the bore and stroke are similar, creating a perfect balance of torque and horsepower. It uses roller rocker arms to reduce friction and is designed to be efficient and cool running. It is in everything: the naked CB 500F, the sporty CBR 500R, the adventure CB 500X, and the cruiser Rebel 500. The Rebel is the best seller, offering a low seat height that makes it accessible to everyone. Maintenance is typical Honda. Change the oil, check the valves every 16,000 miles. They are screw type on the roller rockers, easy to adjust. And that is it. Used models are abundant between $4,500 and $6,000. Honda defines sensible. Our next engine defines cult classic. It is a V-twin from Suzuki that sounds better than a Ducati and lasts longer than a Honda. Number 7. Suzuki 650 V-twin, the engine that powers the SV650 and V-Strom. This is widely considered the best all-round engine ever made. It is a 645 cubic centimeter, 90-degree V-twin. The 90-degree angle gives it perfect primary balance without the need for a heavy, power-robbing balance shaft. It has dual throttle valves for smooth response, and the cylinders are plated with Suzuki's proprietary SCEM coating, a nickel phosphorus silicon carbide blend that basically prevents cylinder wear entirely. You find this in the SV650 Naked Roadster and the V-Strom 650 Adventure Bike. The V-Strom is the high-mileage king. It is ugly, but the ergonomics are armchair comfortable. Courier riders in London routinely put 100,000 miles on these in stop-and-go city traffic. Maintenance is tight because the rear cylinder is tucked under the seat, making valve checks a pain. But like the others, they rarely move. The charging system is the only weak point on older models. The Suzuki V-twin is fast and fun. Our next engine is slow, painfully slow, but it has tires the size of balloons, and it is the only bike that has been to both the North and South Poles. Number 6. Yamaha TW200 single. This is not an engine, it is a mechanical mountain goat. Yamaha has not changed this engine since 1987. It is a 196 cubic centimeter, air-cooled single with 2 valves and a carburetor. It makes 16 horsepower. It is geared so low that it feels like it could climb a vertical wall. Because it makes so little power and has so much cooling fin area, it never gets hot. It never stresses its components. The only bike it powers is the Yamaha TW200. That's it. It has massive fat tires, a low wide seat, and is the most non-threatening motorcycle ever made. Maintenance consists of changing the oil, cleaning the air filter, and adjusting the chain. It is easier to maintain than a lawnmower. If the battery dies, older models have a Kickstarter, and newer ones bump start easily. They do not depreciate. Used ones sit firm at $4,000. The TW is for the farm. Our next engine is for the desert. It is the Big Red Pig, an air-cooled Honda that wins the Baja 1000 and then rides home. Number 5. Honda XR650L. This is the air-cooled king of the dual sport world. It has been in production largely unchanged since 1993. It uses the 644 cubic centimeter RFVC engine, radial 4-valve combustion. It is air-cooled and dry sump, carrying its oil in the frame to keep it cool. The radial valve layout allows for massive valves and better flow, giving it surprisingly good throttle response for a tractor. It is simple, rugged, and raw. It powers the Honda XR650L, a tall bike with a 37-inch seat height. It is basically a dirt bike with lights. Ergonomics are sparse. The seat is a plank. Oil changes are vital here because oil is the coolant. The CDI ignition box is known to fail due to vibration, so savvy owners carry a spare. Keep the chain properly tensioned or it can wear the output shaft splines. Despite these quirks, it is unkillable. Used models go for $4,000 to $5,500. The XR is a single-cylinder beast. But our next engine is a literal car engine, cut in half and bolted to a sofa. It is the smoothest engine in motorcycling history. Number 4. Honda Goldwing Flat 6. Specifically, the 1,800cc Flat 6 found in the GL1800. This engine is a masterpiece of smoothness. You can balance a nickel on the valve cover while it is running, and it won't fall over. It is a horizontally opposed Flat 6 like a Porsche 911. It is liquid-cooled and shaft-driven. Because it has 6 cylinders firing smoothly, there is 0 vibration. It makes a massive torque right off idle. These engines regularly see 300,000 to 400,000 miles. It powers the Honda Goldwing and Goldwing Tour. It is a spaceship with heated seats, airbags, and an electric reverse gear. It is the ultimate long-distance tour. Maintenance is like a car. You change the oil and the final drive fluid. The spark plugs and air filter are buried under bodywork, so labor costs are high if you don't do it yourself. But nothing ever breaks inside the engine. Used prices range from $10,000 to $18,000 for a machine that will last forever. The Goldwing is complex luxury. Our next engine is simple brutality. It is another air-cooled 650, but unlike the Honda, this one uses an oil cooler that actually works, and it is the chosen bike of round-the-world travelers. Number 3. Suzuki DR650 SE, the Bush Pig. If you are going to ride from Alaska to Argentina, this is the engine you want. It strikes the perfect balance between the fragility of a high-performance bike and the heaviness of a liquid-cooled tractor. It is a 644 cubic centimeter air and oil-cooled single. It uses a massive oil cooler and a cylinder bore plated with the same high-tech coating as the Hayabusa. It is smoother than the Honda XR or Kawasaki KLR because it has a gear-driven counterbalancer. The bike is the Suzuki DR650 SE, unchanged since 1996. It is lower than the Honda XR, making it accessible to more riders. The seat is wide and flat, better than a pure dirt bike, but you'll still want an upgrade for touring. Maintenance is the gold standard. Screw-in lock nut valves, easy oil access, no radiators to leak, no water pumps to fail. It is the most reliable air-cooled single ever made. New ones are $7,000, used ones are $4 to $6. This is a legend. But even it bows down to the king of production numbers. Our number 2 engine is the most produced engine in human history. It mobilized the world. Number 2, Honda Super Cub engine. Not just the modern ones, the entire lineage of Honda horizontal singles. Over 100 million of these have been built. It is a horizontal, air-cooled single that uses a centrifugal clutch, so you can shift without a hand lever. The oil is splashed around inside. There isn't even a real oil filter on the old ones, just a spinner. It is designed to run with practically no oil, dirty oil, or cooking oil. Discovery Channel once dropped one off a building, and it still started. You can find this in the modern Honda Super Cub C125, the Honda Trail 125, the Grom, and the Monkey. The Trail 125 is the current darling, a post-apocalyptic scooter that can go anywhere. Maintenance consists of one bolt to drain the oil. You fill it up, you ride. That is it. Prices for these fun little machines range from $2,500 used to $4,200 new. Do you like this video? Click that like button, and if you want to support us even more, become a member, have early access to the newest videos. We have arrived at number 1, the engine that stands above all others. It is Honda's greatest engineering flex. The Super Cub is small. Our number 1 engine is the perfect size. It uses hydraulic valves, air cooling, and 4 cylinders to create a motorcycle that requires literally zero engine maintenance. Number 1, Honda 750 Nighthawk. Specifically, the engine found in the 1991 to 2003 Honda Nighthawk 750. This is the zenith of low-maintenance reliability. It is a 747 cubic centimeter air and oil-cooled inline-4. Here is why it is number 1. Hydraulic valve lifters. Almost every other inline-4 requires expensive valve clearance checks every 20,000 miles. The Nighthawk, absolutely never. The hydraulic lifters self-adjust using oil pressure. It has an automatic cam chain tensioner. It has air cooling, so no radiator. It has a shaft drive in some markets or a robust chain in others. You change the oil, you change the tires. That is it. It is smooth enough to tour, fast enough to break the law, and simple enough to fix with a hammer. It powers the Honda CB750 Nighthawk, a standard UJM with perfect ergonomics, neutral, upright, and a thick seat. It is the most comfortable, usable bike on this list. You can pick these up for $2,500 to $4,500. It is the best value in motorcycling and the only engine on this list that asks for nothing in return for a lifetime of service. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing, and if you want to support our channel and have early access on the newest videos, become a member. And don't forget to like this video.